Remember I told you that your bed weight is very important. So how much your layers weigh, it's a determining factor on how will your chicks lay at point of lay. I'm going to repeat that. How much your chickens weigh is a determining factor of the productivity of your chickens at point of lay. So weight is very important. How are you going to make sure that you achieve the required weight of your chickens? Hello everybody, this is your good Dr. Caroline, a professional medical doctor passionate about poultry farming and striving for financial freedom. I asked you, how are you going to ensure that your chickens weigh the proper and required weight? The answer to that question is that you have to feed them correctly. You have to feed them the correct measurements that is required for their body at that point. Now today I'm going to teach you on how to calculate feeding your chickens. How much feeds are you supposed to give your chickens at a particular age of your chickens, right? So if you look here, I'm going to take a sample of 500 chickens. So let's just say you have 500 chicks, day olds, right? And then we have grams per bed per day, right? So how much feeds are you supposed to give 500 chickens that are in your chicken coop? So here we have this. Week 1, this is age in weeks. This is feed intake. Feed intake, remember, it's grams per bed per day, right? And then we have total in a day. We don't know how much we are feeding 500 chicks in a day, right? We need to calculate this. And then we have uniformity. Guys, uniformity is very important, right? Your chickens need to be growing at the same rate and they have to be uniform with one another. You can't be having a chicken that is just too big, the other one is not growing, then there is something wrong. So when you are busy weighing your chickens and feeding your chickens correctly, you must have uniformity as well. So in week 1, right, how much are we going to be feeding our chickens? We'll be feeding them 13 to 14 grams. So for calculation purposes, I'll take the highest number, right? So we will take 14 grams per bed per day. So one bed should be getting this, right, per day. And you have 500 of them. And then in week 2, you must give them 18 to 22 grams per bed per day. So we'll take 22, which is our highest value. We'll use this as our sample for calculation, right? And then week 3, the same, right? 24 to 26. Week 4, 28 to 30. Week 5, 32 to 34 grams. Week 6, 36 to 38 grams. So we'll take this highest value for our calculation purposes, right? Every week when you're weighing, remember you'll be weighing your chickens weekly. They should be having 85% uniformity. You weigh your first 100 chickens and then you calculate what's the average weight of those chickens in that chicken coop, and it should be 85% uniform. So now I'm only going to calculate for this weeks, but that doesn't mean we end here. You'll be giving a 30-week chick 38 grams per day. Please don't do that. You'll be starving your chickens now. So until 6 weeks, but the weeks still continue. And guys, another thing you must remember to get this. When you're buying your feeds, right? Ask the supplier to give you that guide whereby how many grams are they supposed to get per chick per day, right? The suppliers usually have that, and then you'll be able to see, okay, this week they're supposed to be getting this grams, and then you do the calculations that I'll teach you just now. Okay, good. So week 1, you're gonna take 14 grams per chick per day. We have 500 chickens in our chicken coop, right? So we're going to have 14 grams multiplied by 500 chicks per day. How much is that gonna give us? 7,000 grams. We want to convert it into kg. We'll divide that by 1,000. Then how much are we gonna get? So for the first week, we're going to give them 7 kgs. So this is 7 kg for that day, right? So what does it mean? If it will be you feeding them or your employee, you're going to weigh 7 kgs of feeds. So in this case, your feeds are what? From the previous video, starters, right? Remember, it's the first week of life. You weigh your starters, you get your 7 kgs, right? Once you get your 7 kgs, I feed my chickens twice in a day, right? So I prefer to give them 60-40, right? So you're going to give them 60% of 7 kg in the morning, and then you'll give them 40% of 7 kg in the afternoon. But here's another thing, right? In their first week of life, you really don't want to deprive your chickens of feed because they just arrived, right? They are adapting and getting used to the feeds. You need to be having full supply of water at all times. You also need to be having full supply of feeds, right? So don't deprive them of feeds. But this is the calculation for the first week. You need to be giving your chickens 7 kg. So in week 2, what are we going to have? We're going to have 22 grams, right? So we will say 22 grams multiplied by 500 chicks, 11,000 grams. Convert that to kilograms. We divide it by 1,000. It's going to be 11 kgs. Week 3, 26 grams multiplied by 500 chicks equals to 13,000 grams. We convert it to kilogram, we divide by 1,000 equals to 13 kgs. So week 4, so we're going to say 30 grams multiplied by 500 chicks equals to 15,000 grams. You divide by 1,000 equals to 15 kgs. We give him 500 birds, 15 kgs per day. So you will weigh your 15 kgs, right? And then you will give 60% of 15 kg in the morning, and then give 40% of 15 kg in the afternoon. Week 5, we have 34 grams multiply by 500 chicks equals to 17,000. Divide by 1,000 to get it to kgs equals to 17 kgs. You see this is increasing gradually, meaning every week your chickens should be gaining weight gradually, right? Not too quickly for their body and also not too slowly. Then we have week 6, 38 multiplied by 500 chicks equals to 19,000 grams. We convert it to kilograms, 19 kgs. So this is how you should be feeding your chickens, right? You should be giving your chickens, the first week as they arrive, you give them 7 kg of feeds, your 500 chickens, right? But like I said, I don't want to deprive my chickens that have just arrived of food. So I make sure that there's food at all time, right? It's the first week. They're still getting used to the environment. They're still getting used to the area and also getting used to the texture of feeds, right? So I don't deprive them. That's my personal choice, right? And then second week, you give them 11 kgs. Third week, you give them 13 kgs. Fourth week, 15, 17, 19, and so forth, right? You will see this in your weight. How are you going to know that you're feeding your chickens correctly? How are you going to know that your chickens need to catch up? Guys, I need to inform you that this will vary according to your country. It will vary according to your supplier, right? So you will find that some countries on the third week, instead of 26 grams, is 25 grams. What you need to get from this is the calculations. You need to be able to calculate so that whatever value they give you, you'll be able to convert and feed your chickens accordingly. Because remember, countries, they have different temperatures. Suppliers also, they have different ways in which they make their products. So you should ask for that feeding schedule, right? And then you'll be able to take it from there. So I'm going to add body weight here. So in the first week, right, when you weigh your chickens, how much are they supposed to weigh? You have to be weighing your chickens weekly. You have to be monitoring their weight. Guys, poultry farming is not easy, and you have to be committed. You have to be committed to be doing the work because you want maximum production. So for the first week, they have to weigh 0.07 to 0.08 kilograms, right? Fourth week, 0.28 to 0.29 kilograms. Fifth week, 0.37 to 0.39 kilograms. Sixth week, 0.47 to 0.49 kilograms. What is the goal weight that we want at the end? The weight that will give us maximum productivity. So at week 17, we are looking for a weight of 1.5 to 1.58 kgs. We want this weight. At week 17, we want this weight. So at the end of the day, we need to be feeding our chickens correctly, right? We need to be giving them water supply at all times. There always has to be water in your chicken coop, right? Also at the same time, give them water that is clean, water that you can also drink. You love these chickens. These are your babies. These chickens are going to make you money. So you need to take care of them like you take care of yourself, you take care of your body, right? You need to weigh your chickens, right? So that you see that the weight is coming gradually. And if your chickens are behind by weight, you have to give them more feeds so that they catch up with the weight. You have to give them multivitamins so that they catch up with the weight. And also, remember I told you that this value will differ by country, by supplier of feeds, by the person also where you're buying your chickens, right? Some suppliers of chicks, they will give you, number one, your vaccination charts, number two, the weight, how much they should be weighing per week, and also how much you should be feeding for them. Please ask for that because it varies country by country, region by region, due to different temperatures, different species. So don't take this value and go feed your chicks without even knowing what your supplier is advising you to feed. So this value, they vary. What is important is this, getting to the calculation. It doesn't matter how much you have here because this is a constant. It's given to you. You have to get to here. You have to know how much you should be feeding your chickens, and by knowing how much you should be feeding your chickens, you should get to the weight that you're supposed to get to. It's very important to know what you're doing in this business. I spoke to you about the importance of feed. Why weighing your feeds is important. I spoke to you about the importance of nutrition so that your chickens can grow to a weight that is required. So meaning, what you feed your chickens will determine the weight. How you feed your chickens will determine the weight. The condition and the environment in which your chickens are growing will determine the weight and the productivity. And you want to maximize on the productivity. So yeah guys, catch you on the next episode.